Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are back with another exclusive interview for Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes. This time I am with the master of the Tornado DDT, the master of the 450 splash, and I confirmed with multiple sources, Cody Rhodes' favorite wrestler in the world, Fuego Del Sol. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? I don't know if when he's wearing the suit he likes me as much, but I do like being Cody's favorite wrestler. I do.
It's a nice little nickname to add to the list of phenomenal nicknames that you have. So I will say that's a good thing. How are you doing, sir? Happy New
Man,
Year to you. And how's everything going?
Happy New Year to you as well, man. Things are going. Like I said, I've been riding the wave the past several months, so I'm just enjoying the ride at the moment, man.
Yes, you've been doing a lot of great things, been featured a lot on AEW Dark. So we're going to definitely talk about that. Before we get into things, as a reminder to you guys watching, give this video a thumbs up, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. There is the iCard, of course, you could push that to subscribe, and the bell below that to press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on True Hill Heat. So, Friego, I first want to say thank you very much for joining me. And you, sir, right off the bat, I gotta ask you, you are a part of a huge angle this week, week on AEW Dynamite, as the we saw a Bullet Club reunion. Your part of it was not as nice as the two sweet signs. You got put through a table viciously by the big LG Luke Gallows. Tell me, what was your thoughts on that huge angle, and how does your back feel after going through that table?
Man, I thought a couple things. I thought, man, Mox is getting beat up right now, and my boy Griff Garrison just was getting beat up right now, and I was like, it's my chance to shine, be on Dynamite. And before I could touch the ring, Luke Gallows has already hit me off. The big LG had done hit me off and knocked me down a couple times. And before I knew it, I was picked up and powerbombed through a table. And I'm still sore right now. But what a crazy, crazy night. I've always looked up to the Young Bucks. And to see them come out there and sort of reunite this unit, this faction that made so many waves and changed the wrestling world. It was surreal to see and to be a part of. Uh, I mean, I wish it would have went a little different for me. I didn't really get to watch it until after I got up. But what a cool moment! What a cool night! What a fun night overall. It was just a great show of AEW wrestling. I was happy to be a part of it in some weird, sick, twisted way, even though I got destroyed in the process.
Well, you've been in a lot of different things as far as like AEW. You've been one of the highlights of AEW Dark as of late. Your match with Danny Limelight this past week, in my opinion, was the best match on the show. You guys kind of showed out. But how has been your experience with AEW, and how did you get like introduced to being on AEW Dark?
Well, man, it's such a weird twist of fate because of COVID. It screwed everything up this year, and and so many talents got stuck overseas, whether it be in Canada or Japan or Mexico. They needed guys, and they started using independent talent. And I am very good friends with Sammy Guevara, and I reached out to him, and he just said, "Hey, man, they're using indie guys. You need to be here." And so I come in, and I did a tag match in May, and then I come and did a tag match in June, and finally I had a singles match with Sammy in July, and I took a month off, and I didn't know if I was going to be back, and then I came back again in September, and it just slowly just kept earning one opportunity after another, making the right connections, being in the right place at the right time. And finally, on October 7th, I wrestled Ricky Starks on the AEW Dark, and I just so happened to walk to the Young Bucks locker room at the right time with Sammy Guevara, and we ended up being a part of the BTE Gator Golf tournament, which this is not a work at all. It was a complete shoot. Like they told me right there, if you win, we'll book you next week. And so I won the match, and I got booked the next week. And just so happens that next week I did lose, but I was involved with a little back and forth with QT on the vlog. And so he was like, you know what? We gotta keep bringing this guy back because I enjoy talking about him. But little did he know I was going to sneak in and steal his best friend. And so since October 7th, I've been pretty much there every taping for AEW, and it's been a hell of a ride so far.
You've been really making a lot of ways, making strides in your career, but definitely got to talk about Sammy Guevara's vlog. You've been a mainstay on there since you've been frequent in AEW. How's been the experience being a part of such a big channel that Sammy has and his own little world with Marco Stunt, Griff Garrison, and being a part of that? You kind of stole the shine from Marco in the Lake of Reincarnation. He was on a roll until you opened that door, man. So you've been making your presence known on there.
I didn't see shit. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I just know that I opened the door, Marco's on the ground. That's all I know. But it's so funny that you bring this up because me and Sammy have been friends since about 2016. I think we wrestled each other a couple times. He actually messaged me, uh, and we had this trade off where he would help me get booked in Texas if I would put a video up of him on my channel, which I had a second channel at that time that had a little bit more exposure, and we became friends because of that. And I helped him with YouTube back when he only had 2,000 subscribers, and we just developed such a relationship. And I was on, vlogs here and there when we would be booked on the same shows together. And so then to see it all come full circle and him to blow up like he has, and then return the favor and help me get booked in AEW, like it was meant to be. And the best part about all this is like I love wrestling. And I love wrestling on AEW Dark and being there for Dynamite. But I'm having some of the most fun I've ever had in my career, just being there, goofing around backstage and having fun, being on the vlog. So we help each other come up with ideas. We play off each other, and it's just an overall fun time. And I didn't know things was going to slowly escalate to where I would be doing things with Cody Rhodes or doing things with QT in this way that it's now become almost a weekly thing where people just want to see where the story's going to go next. And so this really has gotten me over. Like I did not think it was going to push it to this limit, but now like I don't have a contract there, but they make sure to build me as the master of the Tornado DDT before I go out for AEW Dark. So it's just a whirlwind of emotions because you don't when you think about ways your career is going to blow up, this is never one of them. I
Yeah.
literally, I don't want to say it fell into my lap or I was lucky because I absolutely firmly believe that luck is just when preparation meets an opportunity. And so it was coming at the perfect time at a weird time. And we just been keeping the ball rolling. So I just hope to keep the ball rolling. And being a part of this vlog is one of the most fun parts of it all.
Yeah, you're taking advantage of the opportunities that you got and really making the most of it. And speaking of the vlogs, I gotta ask you, what is going on with you and QT Marshall? This rivalry is has the makings of AEW Dark, in my opinion, an AEW Dynamite main event because he's been ducking and dodging you for months now. So what is going on with this beef that you have with QT?
Man, apparently he's auditioning for the sequel of Dodgeball because he's been ducking, diving, and dodging me all year long since all of this started. And I thought we were finally going to get to do it. Vlog 300, we built it up. We cut promos for it just to find out he cancels the match again. It's so weird. It's so weird that people don't realize how big of an asshole QT is behind the scenes. He might play the just dumb friend of Cody Rhodes, the happy-go-lucky guy next to Dustin, but what a real asshole that QT is. And so, we haven't addressed it since he canceled the match. So I'd say tune in soon to the vlog, and we'll see when he really steps up. He says I need to win a match, but he just constantly tries every way to get out of this match. And so QT's time is coming, and we will get that match one day. And when I do face QT Marshall, there'll be nowhere for him to run, nowhere for him to duck or dive or dodge. He's gonna get caught with that tornado DDT.
And I can't wait to see it. I know everybody watching definitely can't wait to see it either. Besides like Sammy, you talk about QT kind of showing a different side to himself on the vlog. Who has like kind of stood out to most to you and like seeing a certain side of themselves or a certain talent that you didn't think they had before? You see all these guys in the ring and all of them are talented in each in their different ways, but being on the vlog, what type of like things have you seen from like a Marco Stunt, Griff Garrison that has impressed you the most?
Oh man, Marco just has so much range. Like he can go from the kid like figure to this enraged maniac in a minute, and it's so good to see. And like it's believable because he believes with everything in him that he'll destroy you just like anyone else. As much as I don't like him, you got to give QT credit because he definitely puts on a front on TV because when he gets on Sammy's vlog, he lets all that anger out. He's got a lot of jobs around there, and clearly he builds up some frustration, and he lets it get out. And he's showing a side of himself that people have never seen before from QT. They didn't know they even had it in him. So I got to give credit to QT because I'm glad people get to finally see the real side of QT Marshall. And then my boy Griff Garrison, we've been tight for a while ever since he came into AEW, and like he wanted to prove to everyone he was more than just a Jungle Boy lookalike. And he's finally come out of the shell and stepped into the role in the tag team with Brian Pillman Jr. And then out of nowhere, this funny tweet blew up with one of the stagehands backstage. Charlie, he's like a prop guy. He just does so many jobs around there, and they do look alike. And I mean, Charlie took a mentor role to him, a father-like figure to him, and so those bits have been hilarious just to see them two play off of each other. It's so funny, just the improv and the idea process of going into all of the different little bits that we do on the vlog. It's so fun to be a part of, and it's fun to see people actually step out of their shell and get to showcase more than what you see on Dark or on Dynamite.
Yeah, honestly, it shows a different side to him. And as we've seen with like BT and Sammy's vlog, you can kind of get over with the fans and build a new connection. And you've been doing that yourself. So speaking of, YouTube channels with those two, you yourself or like a YouTuber, a big time YouTuber, in my opinion, you have the kids backyard wrestling. And that was that kind of your introduction to the professional wrestling world?
Yes, man. KBW was something that me and a couple of my friends ran, but I owned and operated it right out of my backyard. We produced it. We did all the matches. I commentated it. I did everything I could until we started making money off of the YouTube channel. And then around 17, 18 years old, I was actually looking to finally buy a ring. And the guy there, he's like, I don't feel comfortable selling you a ring at this age, but I would love to train you guys if you wanted to come out and get some training. And so we slowly started there, and I paid for me and a couple other of my guys to train. And we, after 3 months, we were on the road with him every weekend, starting to become professional wrestlers. So it was a cool little way to, advance myself. And that really made me realize that I could be a professional wrestler. It's like, hey, if I can do this in the backyard and make money, why not really pursue this full time? And luckily, after almost 7 long years, it's finally starting to pay off.
So you have a similar like upbringing in the professional wrestling world to Matt Hardy, but there's so many guys in AEW from Matt Hardy to Chris Jericho who have that type of experience. Cody Rhodes, as we talked about before, who has been like in your ear or you've gotten like advice from that really stood out the most to you.
Oh man, I cannot tell you how helpful and just nice overall the Young Bucks have been, especially to me. Like even from the first day I was there, Nick Jackson, without the smash, thought I looked like Brian Alvarez a little bit, and so we joked back and forth, and it kind of broke the ice, and we started talking, and so just ever since then, like they make sure to watch my match if I ask them to, and make sure and just give me any feedback I need. They like to play around and joke around with me, and they have a similar background as me as well. They started in the backyard, started their own promotion, worked their way up on independence. There's so many just little things like they were friendly to Okada back in the TNA days, and that got them one of their biggest breaks ever. And me and Sammy were boys back in the day, and he helped me get one of my biggest breaks ever because I helped him. So there's so many parallels there. They've been so great. But not only them, Matt Seidel, I wrestled him a few years ago on the indie scene, and then when he come in, he was like, "Hey, you have a great potential. Hone it in, do things with it." And even lately now, since Pac has been back, I let him know real quick that, hey, man, I looked up to guys like him because he was smaller and worked his way up the card and worked his way up to become what he is now. And so slowly but surely, he's taking a small liking. He's a bastard for sure, but he's taking a small liking to me and giving me some advice too. But there's so many great guys in the AEW locker room. It's such a great atmosphere to just be around and want to work with. Like one of my first times I actually got to showcase what I could do. I got to wrestle Scorpio Sky. And he's just one of the best pure wrestlers in the company. So to get to work with guys like him on a weekly basis, and even though it might sound crazy, and he wouldn't want me to say this, but Lance Archer is got a great mind for the business, and now that he's joined the good side, I can sometimes talk to him about a few things when he is in the mood not to kill everybody.
Yes, yes. You've been a victim of everybody dies before, but that's good that he's in your ear and give you the advice that you need. So you talk about, Sammy helping you out in your career and kind of being an advocate for you. I've seen in the past someone like Myron Reed over in MLW. He's kind of been an advocate for you. So who would you say, like outside of the AEW bubble, has kind of helped your career progress the most?
Uh, Outside of the AEW bubble, Ethan Page. I wrestled him at Impact last September of last year, and we had a tag match against the North, and that was just one of the best. They're one of the best tag teams in the world, and like I thought they were good beforehand, but when you step in there and you just feel the energy they bring, the intensity they bring, how smooth they are together, working together. I was on the receiving end of a lot of tag team moves that night. But immediately after, he gave me so much advice. He said, hey, I'm going to help you get booked here, here, and here to get you to the next level. He constantly gives me advice when I need it and just is supportive overall. So one of the nicest guys in wrestling and one of the smartest guys in wrestling. I got to give it to All Ego Ethan Page. And with his contract coming up soon, who knows where he might end up and when we might see him become All Elite as well. I know I would love it,
I would
but
love it as well.
we'll see.
For sure. So, you came up in the wrestling world. We talk about how you started off in the backyard, but how did you like become a wrestling fan? Like, what was your first instinct that you remember kind of like watching the wrestling world and what got you into it?
Oh man, so my dad is just a huge wrestling fan. So since the time I can, my first memories are of wrestling. Uh, I got lucky that he was just so into it that right, Stone Cold originally is some of my first thoughts, just running around the house pretending to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then when I really started getting a little bit older, 7, 8 years old, I remember seeing the Invasion angle for the first time and just had captivated me to see WCW get bought by Shane. I remember having the remote in my hand. My dad was at work and I was just flipping back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, they're on the same channel. Shane is on Nitro, and it just blew my mind. And then as slowly as I progressed, just Shawn Michaels just captivated me as a wrestler. And as I got into TNA, AJ Styles captivated me as a wrestler. And just from the moment I can remember, but those are some early memories, just Stone Cold Steve Austin until into the Invasion angle, and then to where Shawn Michaels finally debuted, made his return back to the WWE. So thankfully, my dad loved wrestling. I have some younger brothers that grew up watching wrestling as well, but sometimes when kids fade out of it, I never did. I was just there all the time, and so man, wrestling always been my first love.
Love it. You have that genuine love for it, that passion for it, and that's what makes you great yourself. So, like that kind of brings me to how we usually like to close these interviews. This is true heel heat, and you have kind of proven that you are a true wrestling fan. That's what being a true heel is all about. But we also like to talk about the villains, the bad guys of the wrestling world. So, who would you say is the truest heel that you've ever seen in the wrestling business, whether your time as a wrestling fan or seeing them up close and personal as a wrestler?
Ooh, so the truest. I guess I got to go back to almost my childhood days and think about who I hated the most when they were out there. And there's few that go up there higher than I guess Triple H. Like there's just so many different incarnations of how much you hate him.
Yes.
And Evolution was one of those times. Like you wanted him to lose the title so bad. Uh, and you almost got it with Goldberg, but then he finally got the title back. And then finally Batista dethroned him And it was one of the coolest things ever. So I remember just despising despising Triple H growing up. And he's definitely got to be one of those guys that then even up into my high school days of where the Authority were back on top, and I was just such a Daniel Bryan guy that just to
Nice.
have it again, I'm just like, come on, man, get off my guy's back. It's just it's no better way. And now you can throw all the hate on him all you want because he's one of those, he's a one of the chief guys of the company. So
Yeah.
Triple H, just because he was able to reincarnate and then flip on a dime, and you're crotch chopping, doing DX hand signals just that fast. But so yeah, I just right now he's the first one that comes to mind when I think of the truest heel. When in True Heel Heat, another one I got to give it up to is Bobby Roode. I remember when he was
Nice.
on top in TNA and won the world title for the first time. He had it for 8 months, and then before Austin Aries finally cashed in Option C and beat him for the title. And I just remember I was like, man, this 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 guy carried the company on his back, even though I don't like him, and it made a star out of it. And I feel like that's the true heel. And then one more I gotta give it up to is like 08, 09 Randy Orton, man, when he was on fire there, punting punting Vince and then fighting Shane and then fighting Triple H and beating Hardy, when Hardy was doing swantons off of stage panels. It's just different things where he kept beating your top guys and you just hated Randy Orton. And I remember he punted Vince the Monday Night Raw before the Royal Rumble, and I looked at my dad and said, "Oh my God, he's gonna win the Royal Rumble. He's gonna win
Yep.
the Rumble, and he can't get fired." And it was such a fun story to watch play out. Now thinking back on it, but as that kid who was just in love with wrestling, like, "Oh my God, no, he can't get away with this." So just a couple nods to three that I thought of off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing plenty more, but they definitely captivated me as a true heel.
Nah, that was three great ones. I would say arguably in the conversation for three of the top heels of the past 2 decades for sure. And you kind of can make the parallels between, Triple H's run to Randy Orton's run, even Bobby Roode. I've kind of made the analogy before that he was like the Triple H of TNA at that time for
Absolutely.
sure. So now we're just going to talk about a moment. It can be from any of those three guys, or you could talk about somebody else, but one of the true heel moments that you remember the most and where you like hated the person or hated what they did the most. What stands out the most when I ask that question?
Oh man, this was a short-lived heel run, but I was such a Shawn Michaels guy. And the night he super kicked Hulk Hogan after the tag match, I I think I cried just because not because I was a Hulk Hogan fan, just that Shawn Michaels turned his back on the people.
Yeah.
And like I almost stopped watching wrestling because I was so upset that Shawn Michaels super kicked Hulk Hogan. I was like, no, like why is he going bad? It's like he's the ultimate babyface. You can't turn Shawn Michaels bad. I was like, no. And so that moment, and then literally he wrestles Hogan and he's back babyface
Exactly.
soon after that. And I was right back in. I was like, okay, great, we're back to normal. We're there. But I remember that moment so specifically that I was like, it made me so angry. And like I forgot about that moment until you just brought it up. You said a moment, and it hit me again. I was like, man, why did he super kick Hogan? Luckily, it all worked out for the best, I guess. We gave us one of the funniest SummerSlam matches of all time. So
I was gonna say that. I was like that match, and then the moment in Canada with the Bret Hart theme.
yes,
That promo, that's one of Michael's greatest of all time. So
absolutely.
Friego, thank you once again for joining us on Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes. Please tell the people watching where they can find you on social media, find you on AEW Dark. Please let them know.
You can watch me every Tuesday night almost on AEW Dark on their YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter at KBW_cage. I still have the KBW_cage because I still get followers that just know me from Backyard Wrestling. So it's a funny
Nice.
little parallel. It'll change eventually, maybe when I get this contract. But until then, you can find me at KBW_cage on Instagram at Fuego Del Sol _. You can find my pro wrestling tees, prowrestlingtees.com/Fuego del Sol. I have a bunch of shirts, including the Master of the Tornado DDT shirt that you can pick up now. And then Sammy Guevara's YouTube channel. Every Tuesday at noon, we drop a vlog, and I'm always doing something in that. I have a YouTube channel myself. I can't uh film things at AEW right now because I'm not under contract. So right now that's on pause. But you will see some things uploaded there later. But I think I've done enough plugging. I just want to thank you for letting me plug everything out there.
Of course, man. I had so much fun chatting with you. Please, if you're watching, follow him on all those social media platforms. Even subscribe to his YouTube channel because he has great stuff on there. You could kind of see where he really started and really honed his craft. And of course, go ahead and subscribe to Sammy Guevara's YouTube channel and follow along with the journey and the build up to the epic encounter between Fuego and QT Marshall. It's gonna be a big time one. So give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you got any questions about Fuego, if you want to know more or what you thought about this interview. Push the subscribe button and the bell below that to press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat, and share this with all your wrestling fans and friends. So this has been Tru Heels BTR, Between the Ropes, with Fuego Del Sol. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. I am signing off until next time. Peace.